This episode is a little different from the rest of the season in that it isn't a second look at one of the topics from season 1. In this episode, we take a deep dive into the journey of Victor Edward Bell, who is passionate in a really big way about the millennial generation. Born in Honolulu, Hawaii, he is a husband and father to 2 beautiful children. Victor is the author of the book From Secrets with Men to Romance with Him. And in it, he tells the story of his personal deliverance from homosexuality, lust, and what he describes as a very fearful pride. In this interview, you'll hear Victor speak from a really honest place about his experience with insecurity, shame, rejection, and the pain of releasing homosexuality to receive Jesus. I am Dr. Shauna Knox, and this is Further, where we explore the real Christ and the real you. The way to life is extremely narrow, and very few of us ever even find it. But let's keep looking. We'll do it together. Victor, describe yourself for me in 3 words.
Submitted, courageous, yielded.
Submitted, courageous, yielded. Those are good words. Why don't we just start at how you met Jesus?
I had heard about him for 18 years. I would say 18, 19 years. And when I say heard of him, it's kind of like hearing about a famous entertainer or one of the best teachers in the school building. You may see them, you may feel their presence sometime in the hallway, and you know of them. You know what you heard the stories, but you haven't really formally met them. Mm-hmm. And the night I formally met him was January 2nd, 2011. I was in total opposition to him at that time. I didn't plan on meeting him and then having an interaction with him in that manner. Mm-hmm. I knew of him, but I didn't want him. It was the night I submitted my life to him from down low homosexuality, lust and perversion, other things, drinking, smoking, partying, cursing, fornication. And that night I was walking downstairs. My mother made me go to church earlier that day. And the preacher said, "Go and sin no more." I remember walking to the altar, but I just kind of walked up there like, okay. It was kind of like something drew me up there, but I was at a loss, like in an unfamiliar space. I was like, okay, I'm here. All right, guess I guess go sit down now.
Was that your first time going to the front?
It wasn't, but it was the first time going to the front where there was not a battery pack of parents or family members or you should go. You know, the church atmosphere.
No one was pushing you.
No one was pushing me at all. And I just was like, maybe I should go. And I went up there, and then when I was coming, as I got home and I'm walking down the steps, I felt I just kept hearing this in my head: go sin no more, go sin no more, go sin no more. And I just kept hearing, you can't be gay anymore. And I was like, I was getting madder, and I was getting madder, and I was getting madder. And by the time I got to my door, as I walked down the steps, I was heated. I was like, no. What do you mean I can't be gay no more? And before I knew it, I was in a shouting match with this presence that I had never really met, but I was meeting him then. And when I tried to walk in my door, it was like this presence was in front of me, and if I'm trying to like juke or like walk back and forth to get around somebody, it wouldn't let me in my room. And I'm like, no, you like let me in my room. And then I just said, because I knew I could feel what it was. I knew like it was this being, this Jesus I had heard of, the spirit of him that I had heard of.
So you knew you were having an encounter with Jesus.
I knew it was an encounter with Jesus Christ, but I didn't care.
And you were angry.
I was angry because I said, I have to be gay. Let me be gay. Let me be gay. And it was like he wasn't listening. It was like he was a stone wall that just wasn't listening. I wasn't penetrating his mind. And it was like, I'm used to being able to manipulate, control, influence, persuade, seduce people. There, some way or form of fashion, I'm going to convince you what I'm saying is right, or it's what I need to do, and you need to let me do it, whether it's with you or not. But I couldn't convince him. So then I said, all right, let me pour out my heart, because I've done that before, and it's worked those times. And at this time, maybe they'll understand the brevity, the pain that I'm speaking from. So I said, you don't understand. I'm insecure. I'm ugly. I don't have friends. People don't like me. Who people see on the surface is not really who I am. I'm afraid. I'm not confident. You don't know what it's like to be me. And I'm yelling this at this point. Like, I'm talking lower now, but I was yelling. And at that moment, I was crying so profusely I couldn't see straight. It just was water like running down my eyes. And nothing was being said, but then like he just swooped in. And see, the title of my book is called From Secrets with Men to Romance with Him. This is where the romance comes in. I knew when I had in lust romance girls or been romanced before by guys or vice versa, it happens quickly and then you're vulnerable and you're not really in control. Well, that's how it felt that moment. It was like he swooped in and he was like, okay. I was beaten. I was ridiculed. I was defamed. I was left by my family, my close friends. They all deserted me. I was tortured, and then I was murdered because I love you. And I was like, what? And what shocked me was that, whoa, you understand what it is to be me? And I didn't want to receive that because I'm like, no, because as long as I have the ability that no one understands what it's like to be me, then I have a reason to be gay. It was like he was binding up the strong man, and the strong man was losing his grip. And I didn't understand what was happening, but I'm like, okay, I've exposed myself to you quite a bit, and I don't really know what's next. You have to forgive me if I start crying. And then he swooped in, like, for the taking. He said, give me homosexuality, give me drinking, give me cursing, give me fornication, give me partying, give me weed, give me all of it, and I'll give you my love. And you see how it feels.
Were you angry because you felt like if you tried to give him homosexuality that you would fail? Or were you angry because you just didn't want to give that to him?
I didn't want to give it to him. I don't mean, well, I'm not going to say, I don't mean to be crass. the reality was I enjoyed. At that moment in my life, I loved being gay.
Mm-hmm.
It was a thrill beyond thrills for me.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to that, I threw large parties, like the door, the DJ, the security was mine. Me and my best friend. The money at the door was mine. The buses that brought the college kids in, we paid for it. The sometimes they used to give us stretch limos. It was mine. The weed, I sold weed for a little bit, but the life and the lavish, like the micro part of it was all such a thrill for me. And then being gay and thinking or being able to present myself as the woman, the seductive, the manipulative, the super sexual, the attractive, the caring, the considerate, all of the things that you would, like a man desires a woman to be, and like beyond his ego, with the sex part, is who I was on the down low with men. So I'm not giving this up. I walked in a room when I was a kid, look at his shoes, look at his clothes. He got hand-me-downs. He got steel-toe boots. He got Payless shoes. He got Walmart clothes. My mother and father could afford a very nice house, but we couldn't afford designer clothes. So walking in the room and being people snickering, making fun of you, laughing at you, and then walking in the room and then all the men want you. I mean, walking in the room with all the girls is like, oh, he cute, he fly, I like his clothes. So by then, I was getting a little money, so I wanted to be fresh all the time. Like I had become really, really idealistic and materialistic. My hats had to match my shoes and my shirt, and I'm gonna wear a pink shirt with skulls on it, because all the girls were like, oh, that's a cute shirt. But the men was different. Being in a room full of men that all were like, we want to sleep with him. I was literally saying, I'm not giving this up, Jesus, because you don't know what it feels like to be the other side of me that's dealt with all the pain. My father physically abused me. He never, not sexually, but he used to literally punch me, cover my mouth up, hit me in the chest, push me down, slap me for no reason, because he resented my mom's personality. My parents were married close to 40 years. I love my dad. Me and my dad are great friends now. But at that point in my life, I hated my dad. Like it was as close to hate as you could get. And all of that was coupled with being gay it is a life fix for me. I can hide behind this. So you're not taking this from me. So I didn't want to give it to him, and that's why I was angry. And I could feel it was like, but you're taking it from me, and I can feel that you're taking it from me. And I knew you're not going to let me keep this. I heard about your word and what it says. I was raised in a Christian home. None of that mattered to me. The Resurrection Sunday, you going to hell, and I was like, okay, I know, but right now this is what I need. I need to be gay. And so I'm like, I can live with it. I'll take my chances. And I've had several scares of going into the clinic thinking I had AIDS. Looking at a video where he played 15 times in a row with a guy that got AIDS and didn't know it, and he was passing it and all that stuff. Sitting in the room, and they're like, okay, you can come back now. I'm like, oh God, here we go.
And while they're still convinced I really want to be gay, why did you go to the altar?